welcome to this video about the NX Wing. It's my first impressions about the Obsidian NX Wing versus the Obsidian NX Touch. This is actually the original product, the Martin M Touch, that I think is identical to the Obsidian NX Touch. So I've been using this software, the Onyx, since MPC for about 3 years. I come from Martin Light Jockey, and then when it was time, I switched to Onyx. It took me about a year to switch to NX Touch because I was trying to make Onyx to be Light Jockey, something that is not. It's a way more powerful and more efficient tool, but I think that's for another video. We were doing some corporate shows. I freelance for a company, and we use for some of the shows just a basic DMX console, like a dimmer with faders, and the show was getting a little too complex for the faders. My client, that is a good friend, has seen the M Touch or the NX Wing, the M Touch in some of the shows that are more complex, and told me, hey, why we don't buy something like that? But he wanted something a little better, since the company is bigger and he does a lot of shows and they have the budget, whatever. So I say, I have not seen any videos of the NX Wing in YouTube. And he said, let's go and order it. I'm sure it's good. I was happy to do it because I have been in my mind to buy one. So we ordered the NX Wing. This is not actually, this is my show for my company. This is the one that I use for DJ and my concerts and my bars and things like that. So I went and created the file, that is not this file, for a simple, for the simple corporate show. When we arrived, I unpacked the board. He gave me a brand new computer, like a nice computer with touchscreen and everything. And I just downloaded the software, connect the board, and immediately work. One of the things to know is that the switch has 2 positions. If you push it to the right, it works with the computer. If you push it to the left, this NX Wing becomes the wing for a bigger Martin console. So it has to be pushed to the right to work in a computer. I loaded the file that I put in a USB. I loaded in the new computer. The software accepted, updated, and immediately worked. What I say that is because when today I brought the board to my house and connected to my main machine, this is the machine that I use for my shows, it did not recognize the Wing because it's in an older version. I will put in the screen, it will be the version that I have in here, and I don't want to update my main machine yet. I have this is my backup machine, and this is my working machine, my testing machine. So I updated this one with the latest version and immediately worked. So, and then I went back and it worked with this one, so it does not create a conflict. There's some things about licensing and things, but that's for another video, and you guys can check on that. I want to talk about my first impression with this board. So so as I say, I have never used the board, but I am confident enough with the M Touch. By the way, I'm not an expert. I'm in lighting by chance. I like it. I am studying, watching all the videos, learning a lot from the guys in YouTube, but by no means I consider myself an expert. So if I say something that is not correct, please put in the notes and the comments, and I know enough about this to be dangerous. So as I start operating the software, the first thing that shocked me was that this board, the Wing, does not have the 10 extra faders of the Touch. For me, that's a big deal because all my shows are created with I put all my cues here, I go to different banks, but in here I have specials. For example, I have in this one normally in every bank, when you push this one, all my last flash. Anything, somebody says something important, I flash the lights. In this one, it's always my smoke machine. For the show that I created with the Licos here because we have a specific positions. I created stage wash, some other washes that we have, and I have something for videos that every time a video comes, you push here and immediately all the stage wash come down and all the lights go to 50%. So in this one, because you don't have it, my first impression was, oh, okay, that's a deal breaker. But because I want to play with the board, I put all those effects in a second bank. I went to bank number 2. So the operation feels exactly the same. In the sense that, it's not something that it will show you something that you don't completely know if you know Onyx. So the good things that I really like. My favorite part of the board, hands down, is this. The keys that have a tactical feel, that you have all the tools here, and the encoders and this little screen is a big deal. In the touch, you have a way that, for example, if you are using display bags, but you need to control something, you have some limited resources here. Not everyone, but you have some limited things here. And also, if you push this button, if you hold it, it switches to being like this controller. But you have to use this, and honestly, it does not feel natural. So in the touch, I am always going to the computer, the touch screen, opening this screen is broken. This touch screen on this computer is broken, so that's why I have to use the keyboard. I open this tool, and from this tool, I call a lot of the settings, move, load, record, and then you go here to this, and then, for example, you have a light selected. You select the light, and then you go intensity, and then you say, well, whatever you want. If you don't have the preset already created, position, something like that, a new position, pan tilt, or whatever. Of course, you have your presets, but you will never have a preset for everything that you need. So in this one, it's huge. This is a huge thing because as you have so many options, for example, groups, you select, remember, I'm learning this board. So group, and you say, for example, group number 2, group 2, at 100. Immediately, you don't have to touch you don't have to go to the computer. That is a big deal, because as you move your hand to the computer, you have to look at the computer instead of the stage. Like a cashier in a supermarket that eventually does not have to look at the keyboard at all. That was happening already yesterday. After the show was 3 hours. After hours, I was already sending and changing intensities by this. I think I didn't touch the computer at all yesterday, just because this is so effective. So this is a big thing. This touch screen feels great. And in the top, it shows you the parameters also. And it works with encoders automatically. So if you change the encoder, you immediately change the values. It feels very natural. I really like it. Another thing that I like, the Grandmaster. The Grandmaster it's a big deal. Yesterday, in my shows, normally for corporate shows, having a blackout really fast is very important. So in almost every corporate show, always the first fader becomes my Grandmaster. In this one, you don't have to sacrifice one of the playbacks because you have a Grandmaster, and it's a Grandmaster that anybody will find. I was in break yesterday, and they want the lights out. They want the lights in the stage out. My boss came, and he, without never knowing this board, he would look at for 2 minutes, and when he opened it, he knew that this was a Grandmaster and immediately killed the lights. So that's a big deal. Another thing that is very important that I like in this one is, in here these faders are the board is not connected, but you control it like this. Let me tell you, I never use those faders. I use those faders very little. They work well if you need them. They work, but I won't be controlling something that needs to be precise with those faders. one of my cues require my tactile input during the stage at a moment that based on somebody's action. So it's something that it was almost impossible to be programmed. So I just call the cue, and I control it with the fader. Man, I'm telling you, this is a huge difference. The fader feels solid, the position, huge deal. The faders are a huge deal. Let me tell you, I really like the board. I think the board is fantastic. For me, things that most of my shows are DJ show and a lot of bands. And size in this case for me is important. The Touch being a small board with a low profile, I carry this in a laptop bag. I've been carrying this board for like 3 years in a laptop bag with this laptop and a little wireless transmitter, and it fits perfect where I put it here and the laptop in the back. It looks perfect. Sometimes I use it, I will put a picture, I use it in my DJ with my DJ laptop and my lighting laptop in the side with the board in the side, and it's very low footprint. This one takes more space. So when you put the computer in the back, if you see I'm using the box to raise the computer, the laptop is buried in the back. So you really have to raise it. For what it is, depends on the show and the space that you have. The light is fantastic. Everybody has to come play with the light yesterday because the colors and it looks fantastic, and it's enough light that we were in a very dark environment in the videos, didn't bother anybody. It felt very, 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 very strong. The board, it also needs power. While the Touch is USB power, USB power, this one requires to be connected to the power. Not a big deal for almost any show, but it's something to know. Price. This one is currently $600, and this one was $3,000. So it's a big jump on price. My conclusion is, if you can afford this board and you have the space, it's worth it. The fact that is very tactile, that the faders are strong, that you have a grandmaster, that you can program really fast in the fly is a big deal. Something that may not be important for everybody, and maybe just my opinion, is that in the time that I have this board, very few people have come and commented. Mostly DJs and other people who are in production come, oh, nice, what it is, how it works, and people who use softwares that, that like a DJ software, they don't have any control over the the production and things like that. They really, oh, now you have faders, they see the flashing and they like it. This one is a big deal. Yesterday, everybody came and talked to me. The client, the first thing the client arrived and say, oh my God, what is that? I said, the lighting board. I said, really like it. Things it was pretty. And this guy is super detail oriented. My client, all the other technicians were coming and commenting about how professional the board looks. So for what is worth it, it gives the lighting department a little more presence. And that's just my opinion. And basically it is, if you have the budget, if you have the space, if you need the control and you can afford it, it's a great board. So I highly recommend it.